All right. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this event this morning. We are delighted to have you here. My name is Sandra Banks, and I work at the University of Waterloo as Vice President, University Relations, and I'll also be your MC for this morning. On behalf of the University of Waterloo, I'd like to welcome you as we celebrate the official groundbreaking of the Innovation Arena. We're just delighted that so many of you could be here. It's important, of course, to acknowledge and reflect that the University of Waterloo's campuses in Kitchener, Waterloo, and Cambridge are situated on the Haldimand Tract, the land 6 miles on each side of the Grand River, granted to the Haudenosaunee of 6 nations. The land inside and surrounding the Haldimand Tract, including our Stratford campus, is the traditional territory of the Attawandaron, Anishinaabe, and Haudenosaunee. I also acknowledge and recognize this area is now home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, and Métis people. As we get underway this morning, let me just share a very few housekeeping items. After the formal program, there will be time for media questions. This portion will be managed by Caitlin Clark, Press Secretary in the Office of the Premier. For media who are joining, please wait for the queue. And just so everyone is aware, this event is being recorded and live streamed by the Government of Ontario. So welcome to our virtual audience as well. After the program concludes, we'll be doing some on-site photos. I'd like to ask our speakers and dignitaries, and you know who you are, to join us, to stay behind to participate. Now it gives me great pleasure to introduce the President and Vice-Chancellor of the University of Waterloo, Vivek Goel.
Thank you, Sandra. Thank you to all who've joined us here on the Health Sciences campus to help us mark an important milestone to officially break ground in the extensive conversion of this warehouse into the Innovation Arena. I would like to welcome an impressive roster of VIPs joining us today, including Premier Ford, Minister Fedeli, Minister Dunlop, Member of Parliament Bardish Chagger, Waterloo Regional Chair Redmond, Mayor McCabe of Waterloo, the City of Kitchener Mayor Vrbanovic, and councillors, as well as members of Parliament and members of Provincial Parliament who've joined us today, and numerous community leaders. This Innovation Arena is driven by a community that has a common vision, a bold strategy, and the talent, research, and ideas to deliver on possibilities. Momentum in the Waterloo region and the City of Kitchener is building to support technology-inspired innovations in healthcare and delivery. As always, it takes the support of many partners to make this happen. Our funding partners include the City of Kitchener, the Government of Canada through the Federal Economic Development Agency for Southern Ontario, and individual donors, notably Mike Stork, who will speak shortly, Stefan Linder, Dave Cross, and Mike Peasgood, the founders of Arion Labs, the C3 group of companies, and George and Nina Maradian and their family. And we're looking forward to hearing from the Premier shortly the news he has come to share this morning. All of these partners are contributing towards bolstering this region and the province's leadership in addressing the future health challenges ahead of us. I'm also pleased that we're joined by leaders from our local hospital and Communitech. Together, we've been part of a health and tech roundtable. This group came together at the start of the pandemic to develop and implement innovative solutions and helped address challenges like access to PPE and testing in this community and beyond. We've agreed to continue to work together so we can position this community as a leader in the development and adoption of innovative solutions for our health system. We have a dual objective: improve population health and health system performance and contribute to Ontario's economic development. The Innovation Arena will be a key component of advancing this agenda. It will feature shared research and development labs and collaborative office spaces to inspire partnerships and facilitate exchanges between businesses, founders, researchers, health workers, and community partners. This facility will also be the home of Velocity, Waterloo's flagship entrepreneurship program. The new, larger space will allow Velocity to streamline commercialization, fast-track and support entrepreneurs, and support Canada's economic and social prosperity. At the University of Waterloo, we're prepared to take a leading role in healthcare innovation through leveraging our strengths at the intersection of health, society, technology, and entrepreneurship. Our research and commercialization strengths in areas such as nanoscience, quantum, robotics, and artificial intelligence are being incorporated into new medical and health tech innovations. This new space will help foster collaborations, streamline commercialization pathways for businesses, and fast-track the delivery of health technologies and solutions. Through these strengths and increased collaborations with partners, we are co-creating community-based solutions that will truly make an impact globally and locally. Thank you for being here today. It is now my pleasure to welcome the 26th Premier of Ontario and Member of the Provincial Parliament for Etobicoke North, the Honourable Doug Ford. Premier, we're delighted to have you here today, and thanks for bringing this great weather.
Thank you. Well, thank you, Vivek and Sandra. And yes, it's beautiful today. It's great to be back here in Kitchener and the Waterloo region, and alongside Minister Dunlop, Minister Fedeli, and our local champions, MPP Harris and Riddell. I also want to recognize MPs Chagger and Lewis, Kitchener Mayor Barry Vrbanovic, Waterloo Mayor Dorothy McCabe. I feel like I'm announcing the lineup for the Blue Jays here. Regional Chair Karen Redmond, and all the elected officials and business leaders we have with us today. And a big shout out to the team here at University of Waterloo for hosting us and for all you do to support innovation and entrepreneurship in this region. Folks, I have to tell you, when Vic, he's our #1 salesperson. Where's Vic? There you are. #1 salesperson, and I jump along with him sometimes. But our #1 selling feature, no matter where we go or whoever we talk to in the world, is our universities and colleges. And we always brag about Waterloo. We have the brightest and the best coming out of Waterloo. And I'll tell you, that makes a huge difference when we're competing against countries. I'll give you an example, the Volkswagen announcement. We were competing, Vic, wasn't it? It started at about 90 different regions around the world, and then they whittled it down to 2. And you should have heard Vic and I just pumping our universities and mentioned Waterloo about 1,500 times in that meeting about the tech and everything, so that was great. Friends, it's no surprise that last month Waterloo was once again recognized as Canada's most innovative university. Congratulations, that's fantastic. And it's such a well-deserved honor. You just have to look at the number of innovations, the number of startup and founders that have come from this university, creating thousands of jobs here in Kitchener and Waterloo and right across our province. And that's why I'm thrilled to be here today to announce that our government is investing $7.5 million in the brand new innovation arena to help. That's good. To help build the next generation of innovation companies in the health tech sector. And that's so important. We met an entrepreneur, and some of the stuff that they're coming out with is second to none. It's really staggering. When complete, this new space right behind me will be a hub for innovation, a place for businesses to connect with researchers and community partners. It will accelerate the development and commercialization of made in Ontario technologies. We always go out there, we want everything made in Ontario. You know, folks, I've traveled to the world, traveled to the US, went to 45 out of the 50 states. There's no jurisdiction in North America that is more diverse than Ontario. There's nothing we can't do when we get the private sector, the municipalities, the province, and the federal government involved. We're unstoppable worldwide. create good-paying jobs and attract new investments, and help further cement Kitchener and Waterloo as a leading region in tech innovation. And friends, our investment in the innovation arena is just one of our many government's many initiatives to help grow our health tech and broader life sciences sector. Last year, we released Ontario's Life Sciences Strategy. This strategy, the first of its kind in over a decade, serves as a roadmap to establish Ontario as life sciences hub. It includes initiatives to attract new investments into the sector, building on these are pretty big numbers, building on the $3 billion in investment we've secured from global biomanufacturers over the past 2.5 years. So that's a big number, $3 billion in 2.5 years, and thanks to each and every one of you. For local entrepreneurs and startup companies, the strategy includes our Life Sciences Innovation Program, a $15 million early stage fund to help entrepreneurs and innovators access capital to move their ideas from lab to marketplace. We're taking steps to make it easier for new homemade innovations to enter the Ontario health system. And we're creating an industry-led Life Science Council to provide advice on challenges facing the sector and opportunities to increase competitiveness and advance Made in Ontario solutions. We want Ontario to be the place where entrepreneurs choose to build their companies, where medical breakthroughs are discovered, commercialized, and developed into innovative products and services for the benefit of Ontarians and all of Canadians. Friends, as I've said before, as government, we're not the ones out there developing products, building businesses, or hiring staff. What we can do is create the conditions and the environments for entrepreneurs and companies to succeed and for jobs to grow. We've cut $8 billion of burden off the backs of companies. We're in such a competitive market worldwide. If we don't make sure that we create that environment and the conditions, as I said earlier, for companies to come, man, they'll be gone in 10 seconds. They'll be down in the US, they'll be over to Europe, they'll be over to Asia, but we've created that environment and they're coming by the droves. As we continue to navigate economic uncertainty, we're helping people and businesses today while laying a strong foundation for future generations. We're investing in and supporting our amazing researchers and innovators to create the technologies and businesses of the future. We're tackling labor shortages with historic investments in employment and training programs. We're building roads and highways, including the new Highway 7 between Kitchener and Guelph, to keep people and goods moving. Recently, we've made a good progress with our Indigenous partners, and I want to thank Chief Hill as well. What a good friend and a great partner, and working together on next steps to move this project forward. Something I know the people of Kitchener and Waterloo have been waiting for some time. We're also making electricity more affordable, we're cutting red tape, and we kept taxes and fees low. And we know that a healthy economy requires a healthy population. That's why we're making historic investments in healthcare infrastructure, including a $5 million investment right here in Waterloo Region to modernize and expand Grand River Hospital and St. Mary's General Hospital. And Mike and Brian, thank you. I know, Mike, you've been jumping up and down for that hospital nonstop, and then Brian just got elected, but what champions. And friends, no matter what the future may hold, one thing I always have complete confidence in is the Team Ontario, the Team Canada spirit. When we all come together, as I was saying earlier, like we have for the new innovation arena, our businesses, our talented researchers, our world-class colleges and universities, and all levels of government, I know we can accomplish incredible things. Together, we'll build a stronger Ontario. Thank you again for joining us, and may God bless the people of Ontario. Thank you, everyone. Oh, sorry. I thought we're questioning. I was ready for the media already.
We're going to hold that until the end of the speakers, if that's okay with you.
You can hold it till next week if you want. That's fine. Okay.
Thank you, Premier Ford, for those very kind words. and that very generous support for this entire community. Please know that with this investment, we will all support the university's economic impact and this community's economic impact to create new health tech companies, new high-skilled jobs, and expanded social prosperity. I should just mention we also have MPPs Catherine Fife and Laura May Lindo joining us. Thank you very much. And it is now my pleasure to introduce our next speaker, the Honourable Bardish Chagger, Member of Parliament for Waterloo and a proud U-Waterloo alum, who will say a few words on behalf of the Government of Canada.
Thank you kindly, Sandra. Good morning, everyone. It's indeed an honor and a privilege to be here on behalf of Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and Minister Philomena Tassi, who is the minister responsible for the Federal Economic Development Agency of Southern Ontario. I want to give a shout out to the FedDev team. We've got a mighty team which represents this community and really does listen to the needs of the people in the Waterloo region. So can we just put our hands together for the FedDev team? I always appreciate the opportunity to meet firsthand with people and organizations that make this great region what it is, and who work hard to support the resilient economy here in Southern Ontario. As a local member of Parliament for the riding of Waterloo, I'm always honored to participate in events like this that really highlight this region's assets. Home to one of the strongest startup communities in Canada, world-class incubators and accelerators, and post-secondary institutions, this area is known for innovation, a highly skilled population, a collaborative spirit, and a trailblazing technology sector. This positions us to be at the forefront of innovation and growth across a number of sectors, including the ever-important health sector. And strong partnerships like the one we are here to celebrate today are key to that. Through a partnership between the University of Waterloo, the City of Kitchener, Medical Innovation Exchange, Velocity, and now the Province of Ontario, the Innovation Arena will establish a health tech innovation hub in the region with partnerships across southwestern Ontario, throughout Ontario and Canada. Because here in the Waterloo region, we don't compete against Canadians. We compete against the world. So we keep our doors open and we look forward to working with anyone who would like to work with us. With $10 million in support from FedDev Ontario, the federal government is really happy to see that the Innovation Arena, located right here in downtown Kitchener's Innovation District, will provide pioneering firms in the health tech sector with the support they need to build to the next level of growth, from mentorship and business advisory services, support for product development, and access to specialized labs and clinical trial spaces. This support will spur solutions, learning opportunities, and innovation in this region, and that will improve the quality of life and health outcomes for Canadians and others around the world. And we really do hope that all levels of government will look at the ideas in this community, will look at what's being commercialized and developed, because we really do have the solutions that are needed. These are the key priorities of our government as well. As you know, 2 weeks ago, we released the federal budget, which is a made-in-Canada plan to grow our economy and make life more affordable for Canadians. We're making transformative investments to build Canada's clean economy, fight climate change, and create new opportunities for Canadian businesses and Canadian workers, including significant measures that will deliver cleaner and more affordable energy support investments in our communities and create good-paying jobs. Budget 2023 is a direct response to the challenges and opportunities Canada is facing right now, and healthcare is one of them. For example, to that end, $198 billion will be invested nationally, including $77 billion right here in Ontario, to reduce backlogs, expand access to family health services, and ensure provinces and territories can provide the high quality and timely health care Canadians expect and deserve. That's why I'm so proud to be here with you today to celebrate this groundbreaking. The incredible revolutionary work that will be done in the Innovation Arena will build on the great work that is already being done by all the project partners and will continue to help strengthen our health tech sector, create good local jobs, and improve Canadian health outcomes. Congratulations to the entire team at the University of Waterloo and all partners in this project. I applaud your work and look forward to seeing the great things that will come from the Innovation Arena. Thank you and congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you, MP Chagger. The Government of Canada has been a strong supporter of innovation across Waterloo Region, and we are grateful for this support. I'm now delighted and happy to welcome the Mayor of Kitchener, Barry Vrbanovic, to the podium.
Well, thank you very much, Sandra, for that kind introduction, and thank you for the opportunity to join all of you today as construction gets underway for this exciting Make It Kitchener initiative right here in downtown Kitchener and on the site of our initial Economic Development Investment Fund investment more than a decade ago, the U of W Health Sciences Campus and the U of W School of Pharmacy. Premier, I'd like to welcome you to our community, as well as Ministers Fedeli and Dunlop and all of the dignitaries who are here today for this exciting occasion. And what a glorious day. Sunshine, an incredible announcement, so much to look forward to. As I get underway, I'd be remiss if I didn't begin by acknowledging my own City of Kitchener Council colleagues who are here today. And please give us a wave as I call out your name. Councillor Scott Davey, Dave Schneider, Jason Deneau, Christine Michaud, Paul Singh, Bill Ioannidis, Margaret Johnson, Debbie Chapman, whose ward we're in, and Ashlyn Clancy. I need to highlight them in the beginning, as the great things happening in our community would not be possible without them, and also the three councillors who did not run again last October, Kelly Galloway-Seelock, John Gazzola, and Sarah Marsh, who were part of the decision around our current economic development strategy. In particular, it's been Council's collective courage and leadership that saw us approve our Make It Kitchener 2.0 strategy late in 2020, in the midst of the pandemic, with a bold vision that saw us embrace the idea of using technology and innovation to help us become the city that does the most good in the world. Of course, all of this is also only possible because of the great staff team we have at the city, led by our CAO, Dan Chapman, our Executive Director of Economic Development, Corey Bloom, and our Manager of Business Development, Brian Bennett, who are key in bringing this idea to fruition. Thank you to all of you, Council and staff, for being the leaders that you are. Ladies and gentlemen, today is an exciting day for our community, and Kitchener is proud to be part of this important partnership as the University of Waterloo and Velocity continue to grow and expand their physical and their program presence here in downtown Kitchener. This local vision goes beyond our local borders, though, working to both strengthen and grow the Toronto-Waterloo Region Innovation Corridor, creating jobs and growing Ontario and Canada's economy as a whole. Back in 2004, Kitchener made the choice to embrace change and reimagine our local industries and downtown core through its initial Economic Development Investment Fund that saw us welcome the University to downtown Kitchener with this Health Sciences campus and the School of Pharmacy. Growing this campus has been a priority for successive councils and myself since becoming mayor in 2014, resulting in health innovation being a key priority in the City of Kitchener's award-winning economic development strategy, Make It Kitchener 2.0, and the city's 2019 to 2023 strategic plan. As part of Make It Kitchener 2.0, our very first investment was once again with the University of Waterloo, with $8.5 million towards the innovation arena to support the growing health technology and innovation startup and scale-up system. This long-term investment in our community's future, providing a transformational opportunity for Kitchener and our region to become a global leader in medical technology and life sciences, further putting the province and our country on the global map. Of course, opportunities like this are only possible because of the collaboration that exists in our community, a secret sauce, so to speak, or as former U of W President and former Governor General David Johnson refers to as the barn-raising spirit of our community. And this project is a perfect example of that. 3 orders of government working together with academia, the private sector, and the not-for-profit sector, and all of that glued together, of course, by our local innovation enabling organization, Communitech, whose CEO, Chris Albinson, and his team are usually behind many of the awesome things happening in our tech and innovation ecosystem, both here in Kitchener and Waterloo Region, as well as across Canada. And I'd be remiss if I also didn't acknowledge Ian Klugman, the former CAO, who I know is here as well. CEO. I don't want to make sure that Dan doesn't think that something's happened there. On behalf of our council, I'd also like to thank our partners here today. As noted, going back to 2004, the University of Waterloo stepped up to dream big with the City of Kitchener. The collective and continuous leadership of U of W presidents, starting with David Johnson, more recently Feridun Hamdulapur, and now Vivek Goel, thank you. Thank you to each of you. What many of you likely don't know is that Vivek has actually been part of the story since the very beginning when he was at U of T. And David went to him to ask for his help to get a second school of pharmacy happening in the province. Little did we know that many years later, things would come full circle, and here we are today. Thank you, Vivek, to you and your team for your ongoing commitment and passion with this project and for healthcare innovation in general. The city looks forward to continue working with you on this campus and on other ambitious plans we have in the healthcare space locally as we reinvent healthcare delivery in the months and years ahead. To the Government of Canada, thank you for being the first step with us to step up following the city's investment and becoming a key partner in this exciting project. As part of the government of Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, Bardish, you have been a strong and tireless advocate for so many things Kitchener and Waterloo region, and I can't thank you enough, together with Kitchener area MPs Tim Lewis and Valerie Bradford, for your tireless leadership and contributions to this project. And to the province of Ontario, Premier Ford, what can I say? You and your government's motto has been getting it done. And when it came to this project, I have to say, thank you. You got it done. We've been working with your team, members of cabinet and area MPPs, building support for this project. But I think it was a conversation with you a little while back that I think sealed the deal for the university's project. You said to me at the end of that conversation, you will get it done. And like the person of your word that you are, you delivered. On behalf of our community and the millions of Ontarians who will benefit in the future from the kinds of innovations in healthcare that come out of this arena, I can't thank you enough. I do want to especially thank our area MPPs in your government, Mike, Jess, and Brian, for all your hard work, but I want to give a special shout out to Mike Harris Jr. for being a real friend and tireless champion of Kitchener since you were first elected during your government's first mandate. Ladies and gentlemen, I know these investments will pay dividends similar to Kitchener's other bold investments in our community in the past and future, including our investments in Communitech, the School of Pharmacy, and the soon-to-be unveiled incubation space focused on the UN Sustainable Development Goals. This has been and will continue to be a game changer for Kitchener and Waterloo region. And now, Nick, I think I need your help here. Before I give up the podium, I'd like to invite the Premier back up here. Premier, I know you're a football fan, but I also know from your younger days you've been a big street hockey fan. I also know that you like being part of a winning team. And so recognizing that, and since this is our first, but hopefully not our last announcement together, I wanted to present you with a jersey from another winning team, the Kitchener Rangers. Vic, I apologize. You may have heard, but the Rangers were the 8th team in the first round of the playoffs, and in 4 straight games beat the Windsor Spitfires, the first place team. And so tonight, as we move on to round 2 against the London Knights, and I'll just note that one of our counselors, Dave Schneider, is the voice of the Rangers, and he's here today. We'd like to ask you, and I know this is a little political, but we'd like to ask you to become part of Ranger Nation. And so I'd like to present you with your own Kitchener Ranger jersey, with, of course, start with the front. Beautiful. With, of course, your name and the number 26 as the 26th Premier of the province.
Thank you. It's beautiful. Really appreciate it. I love this. It's beautiful.
No problem.
I won't get another vote in London, but okay, we got to win a couple of seats here. There you go. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mayor Vrbanovic. You were an early and tireless champion for the Innovation Arena, which helped create the momentum to get us here. And I also think we need to say we guess we know why we named this the Innovation Arena, for a reason, given the special gift today. I'd now like to introduce Mike Stork. Mike is well known as an entrepreneur, angel investor, community leader, and a very good friend of the University of Waterloo. Following Mike, we'll hear from Adrian Cote, Executive Director of Waterloo's Velocity Incubator.
Thanks very much. I've been a longtime supporter of the entrepreneurship programs at the University of Waterloo, and now more specifically the Velocity program. I remember 10 years ago we were back at the university. They would have simple pitch competitions, but at that time one could already see the spark that was coming from these companies. It gives me great pleasure to see the next stage of development of Velocity's Innovation Arena. Velocity company graduates have already contributed significantly to Ontario's economy for a number of years and have attracted over $4 billion of investment over that time. With Velocity being the heartbeat of the university's entrepreneurship program, the incubator creates the outlet for the intellectual property and applied technology developed here at the University of Waterloo. I've been an active investor and supporter of the Velocity program and its innovative companies, and I'm pleased to be able to give back to help support and be part of Velocity's exciting future plans. Thanks to all those that share in the vision to building a better future here in Waterloo Region. Thank you.
Good morning. Thank you, Mike, and thank you to the Government of Canada's support through the Federal Economic Development Agency for Southern Ontario, Ontario's provincial government, the City of Kitchener, all for your leadership and support for the innovation arena, and ultimately for supporting the many entrepreneurs in our ecosystem. Since 2008, Velocity has remained focused on transforming visions, aspirations, and ambitions into companies. We do this by supporting people and their purposes, the entrepreneurs, to find and then take the most valuable next steps towards success. Today, we are grateful for the Province of Ontario's support to accelerate a new approach to innovation, an approach that also borrows a page from how Velocity works. Velocity began with a very simple idea: gather entrepreneurial students in a dorm residence, a community where being unconventional was celebrated, and to let people build whatever they want so long as it was safe and ethical. Velocity's anchoring of the innovation arena underlies this spirit. Velocity's origins and evolution is also very University of Waterloo, where the freedom to innovate is central and tied to a belief that those starting their careers are amongst the most potent and important for our economy. Velocity's origins also set up a self-reinforcing collaborative culture based on trust, where the information on how to move forward was passed within the community. Now, rather than a residence, we see an underutilized warehouse transformed, not only to house Velocity, but also members of our broader community convene to innovate together. Collaboration within the innovation arena is starting at a time when shaping our economy is more important than ever. We need to address key challenges, like adding durable jobs in an increasingly technological market, closing Canada's productivity gap, and commercializing research in a way that benefits our local community. We also need to boost our healthcare system with adoptable technologies to improve care, reduce costs and burnout, along with engaging the climate crisis, housing affordability, inclusivity, and much more. Within several years, we expect the new home of Velocity to launch 135 high-growth startups, create at least 730 jobs, and commercialize 150 new technologies. It's clear that innovation is an imperative, but authentic innovation, how we innovate and create, needs to be an imperative as well. To close, I want to hearten you that we can meet these challenges. Every year, Velocity works with thousands of Waterloo students and receives over 400 applications from startups. These are individuals activated to create change and want to put the shoulders into the hard work, into capturing business opportunities and solving these big challenges. The innovation arena in downtown Kitchener will be their place to start locally and to grow globally. So we look forward to Velocity continuing to be a leader in the innovation community, and we are committed to continue transforming visions, aspirations, and ambitions into companies. Thank you.
Thank you to Mike and Adrian. And thanks to all of our speakers today. Your words and your support have truly said it all. So this does, with that beautiful breeze, conclude our formal program for today's announcement. Just a reminder to our government reps, representatives and donors to stay here for the official photos after the media Q&A concludes. Caitlin Clark will now invite you to lead the media portion. Thanks again to everyone for joining us today.
Great. So we'll now go to Q&A. If reporters could please line up at the microphone behind me. Just a reminder, it'll be one question and one follow-up. And please identify yourselves by name and outlet. First question.
Mr. Premier, Jeff Outfit from the Waterloo Region Record.
Hi,
Thank
Jeff.
you for taking these questions. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
This week, your government added several hundred hectares of land to be developed in this region, which overrode the regional official plan that had been submitted to your government. That's drawn some criticism that your government is contributing to unsustainable sprawl and is overriding local decision-making on this. Can I ask you to explain what your thinking was in approving those extra 100 hectares or several hundred hectares, and how you respond to criticism about that?
Well, first of all, thanks so much for the question. I look at it, we're very fortunate right now to see so many people coming into Ontario. I've always said we have 380,000 jobs available. We didn't have the people to fill them. I've been speaking to the Prime Minister numerous times. He's fulfilling his promise. They're bringing in 500,000 people every single year. We're 40% of the population. That's about 200,000 people that are coming here. But I always say 60% of the people are going to end up in the Waterloo region, Toronto, the GTA, the Ottawa region. So that works out to about 300,000. But I don't know if you saw the Stats Canada a couple of weeks ago. I almost fell off my chair. 445,000 people landed here in Ontario, and those 445,000 people, I welcome them, lots of jobs, but where are they going to live? That's why we have to continue making sure that we have affordable, attainable, nonprofit homes being built, and that's what we're going to continue doing. We got to look not just next year, not 5 years, but 10, 15, 25 years down the road, because the population here is going to be close to 1 million people. Those are staggering numbers. But what I'd like to do, maybe get input from Mayor Barry, if you want to come up and give me your thoughts.
Well, thank you very much, Premier, for the opportunity to weigh into this issue as well. And Jeff, what I would say to you is I think the main parts of the regional official plan have been adopted, and that includes things like protecting the countryside line, things like protecting things like the major transit station areas in the city of Kitchener, and also recognizes that there were some areas where we felt that, for example, in Southwest Kitchener, that those lands should in fact be included. That was a topic of conversation even at the Regional Council Chamber right until the last debate, knowing that this issue was going to go to the province for approval. And I think the decision of the minister recognizes the fact that there were lots of strong arguments about why those lands needed to be included. And certainly from my perspective, we're pleased that they are there, because it'll allow us to ensure that we have the supply to meet the needs of our community as we strive to meet the 35,000 home goal by 2031.
Thank you. A follow-up question, Mr. Premier. Last November, your government announced that it would be appointing a facilitator to review regional governance here with an eye to getting homes built faster and perhaps some other things. We've heard nothing about that since. It's almost 5 months now. No. Have you abandoned that plan for a facilitator? And if not, can you tell me who it's going to be and when they're going to show up and what their terms of reference are going to be?
Yeah, great question. I just spoke to the office this morning. When are we getting it? It's going to be moving forward rapidly. And I always believe in speaking to the chair of Waterloo. I also believe in speaking to the local mayors, getting their input on it. So it's absolutely critical. We all sit down and come up with a strong plan moving forward as we see this region grow. But I'm going to definitely sit down with the mayors, which I will actually right after this meeting, and get their input on it. But it will happen shortly. But thank you for that question.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Just going back on another stat in North America about how we're seeing population growth. So down in the U.S., the two fastest growing states are Florida and Texas. Everyone's leaving California, going to Texas, and a lot of people are leaving New York State, going down to Florida. The numbers I heard, there were 1,000 people a day moving into Florida, 1,000 people moving into Texas, and you think, wow, that's pretty incredible. I think Florida is about 22 million, Texas is about 34 million. We're 15.5 million people, and so that's 365,000. I know I'm getting into these numbers. I'm a numbers guy. That's 365,000 people going into each state. We have 445,000. We're the fastest growing region in North America. It's not even close. We're just bringing people in, and I'm actually quite happy about bringing more people in to fill the jobs and stir the economy.
Good morning, it's Carmen with CBC KW.
Hi.
Premier, one thing that a lot of people in this region who live here and work here have had on top of their minds is all day two-way go.
Yes.
The region is booming with growth, strong tech sector, especially with the announcement of this arena. The need is here, so why isn't it being serviced?
Well, we're moving rapidly on that, and that is going to be serviced. What I understand, there's some negotiations with CN right now. As you know, we're going to be sharing the line with them, but that's our goal, to move as quickly as possible, and we are in deep negotiations with CN right now.
And a follow-up question on behalf of my colleagues in Toronto. They're asking, why did your government remove the chair of Peel Police Services Board, and what did he do wrong?
Well, we're going to move forward with a new chair, and unfortunately I can't disclose that right now, but we will. You'll hear about it in the near future. But thank you for the question.
Hi there, Premier Ford. It's Ricardo Veneza from CTV Kitchener.
Hi, Ricardo.
Just to follow up on the first question concerning the boundary changes. We've seen this happen now in Hamilton, now in Halton Hills. Yeah. Is there any worry about this just not being a democratic venture? You're going in and opening up official plans that municipal councils have worked on, tax dollars have gone towards. Is there any concern on that front, that you're going in and rewriting these things? What's the point of municipal
I always
council?
want to work collaboratively with all municipalities, and I think we have a really good relationship with all 444 of them. But at the end of the day, I get it. I walked a mile in their shoes. It's been 4 years down in Toronto, and that's a pretty active place to say the least, but people just can't keep saying, no, we don't want people. It just doesn't work. We have to grow. If we said no to everything, one time or another, I'm sure years back, this was farming as well. But we have more land than we know what to do with here in Ontario. It's a massive, massive region. It's almost twice the size of Texas. So, we need to make sure to drive the economy, but more importantly, create affordable and attainable homes for people. I always used to say young people. It's not young people anymore. It's young people, middle-aged people, other people that need a home. And when people come here too, new immigrants, their goal is to buy a home. So, supply and demand. This is economics 101. It's a no-brainer. We need more supply. We see it. Everyone knows it. We have a housing crisis. And to sit back and say, no, not in my area. Go down the street, but not here. It doesn't work. So there's plenty of green space. We're always going to be cautious of that. Again, we added 2,000 acres onto the green belt. So we're going to always be cautious, but we have to start building. People need homes, and affordable homes.
And to follow up on that, are there any future plans to override Regional Waterloo official plan?
Again, that's up to the Minister of Municipal Affairs. He'll be working closely with the mayors and have that discussion.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Hey, good morning,
Colin.
Premier Colin DeMello from Global News.
And thank you for your message yesterday, Colin. Greatly appreciated.
Thank you. A question about Ontario Place. So
Yes.
we're all hearing that your government is set to make an announcement, and that announcement might include moving the Ontario Science Centre from its current location down to Ontario Place. I'm wondering if you could just confirm if your plans include moving the Science Centre from its current location down south to Ontario Place.
Yeah, Colin, thanks so much for that question. So this is, first of all, going to be a world-class destination. You know, it doesn't come without bumps and hurdles. Therme and then Live Nations is going to just have a spectacular outdoor venue. But when it comes to the Science Centre, that came on the table probably a year ago, and I personally think it's a great idea. But if I told you now, my Minister of Infrastructure would shoot me on the spot. So can you stay tuned till next week? But I think it's a fabulous idea, and there's a tremendous opportunity. So I just, yeah, I think you know where we're going on that.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I don't know.
Which is why I asked.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the opportunity then. What could go in the place of the Ontario Science Centre? That is a lot of provincial land, and you were just talking about housing. It's directly adjacent from a new transit centre, grocery stores, etc. Would the plan be to build a bunch of housing where the Ontario Science Centre currently is?
If we decide to move it, yeah, I think there's an opportunity right there at Don Mills and Eglinton. I think, Colin, correct me if I'm wrong, I think there's about, is it 90 acres now? I don't know if it's all buildable, but even if it's half of that, that'd be a great opportunity. There's a lot of high rises, density around that whole area. That's where the Ontario line's going to go to as well. So I think there's a tremendous opportunity to create some attainable homes and affordable and nonprofit homes in that region if we decide to go down that route. But it really needs to be revamped. I remember going to the Science Centre, you know, sticking your hand on that ball and your hair goes up. Now I have no luck. Now there's no hair going up with me anymore.
Look what happened here.
Yeah, I know. Can I tell a story about Barry and I when we get together? So I called Barry up, and I'm sorry, the mayor, I apologize.
Okay, very
We call the mayor up. Hey, how you doing, Doug? Blah, 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 blah. Let's get together for breakfast. So have you ever seen two guys like us get together for breakfast? It's a sight to be seen. I throw a box of 20-bit Timbits in there, and they're gone in about 10 seconds. So next time we're getting a 40-pack. We'll split 20 each. But we get a lot of things done. I look forward to having Mayor McCabe over as well. And that's how you get things done, sitting down, coming up with great conversations, how you can improve things. And I just love having the mayors over to the solarium, and it's been very productive.
This will be the last question.
Hi, Premier. Brent Cater with City News. Code Reds, meaning no local ambulances are available for emergencies. That's been an ongoing issue with our community here. Do your investments into healthcare, do they extend to the hiring of more EMS workers and the availability of ambulances province-wide?
Well, we think it's so important to make sure that when the paramedics drop off their patients, they don't sit outside. The hospital. And sometimes you go to a hospital, I think everyone has seen it, you see 6, EMS trucks. It's not their fault. They need to get offloading. We've spent over $16 billion more into healthcare, and we're going to continue funding it. I think our budget's close to $80 billion. It's staggering. But there's always money in there to support our paramedics. There's money to support our hospitals. And again, the 2 hospitals here in the region are going to get massive support through Mike Harris Jr. really pumped that. And so we're there for him. We're going to support him.
And for the follow-up, you mentioned some developments to Highway 7 between Kitchener and Guelph. Do you have any more developments on how that expansion is progressing or how the development's going on there?
Yeah, great question on that. So let me bring you back to, I think it was 2007, the previous government said they were going to get it done. Nothing happened. 2017, they said they're going to move. Nothing happened. We got elected in 2018. In 2019, we did the first phase. A great announcement. We're putting, I believe it's $210 million to the Grand River bridges, so we're going to start moving on that. But I got to get a firecracker going, move these guys along, because there's been talk, but we're actually seeing progress now. And I'd like to, if Mike Harris Jr., he's the expert in this region, but we're really pushing that along. So we'll keep going.
Yeah. Thanks, Doug. No, it's a great question. There's obviously a lot of work continuing with Frederick Street Bridge. We're seeing some utility work done there. There were some RFPs that had to be canceled that are going up for retendering. I don't want to talk too much about that because we don't want to really influence the market on it, but rest assured there was a commitment in this budget to continue this project, and we will get it done for the people of Ontario.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks so much, everyone.
Okay, thanks, everyone. University of Waterloo, your champions. Thank you. And the region.